can my tomatillos at the end of the season, but I also like to freeze them because it makes it so easy to make fresh salsa verde as well as add it to all kinds of different Mexican style dishes. And I start by husking them. It does have that little residue of stickiness to it that will need to be washed off, and I just wash that in the sink with a little strainer. It works pretty well. My next step is to take these and dice them up. I really like using my food processor that has its dicing unit on it because it is so fast. It's kind of incredible to me, actually. When I first picked this up, I couldn't believe it. I'll put a link below to a similar one. This one's actually from like 1990s or something like that, but it works so well. And we have similar items these days as well. I could just put my tomatillos right into a bag, but if I did, then I would have this really condensed tomatillo ice cube essentially when I got it out of the freezer. So I really like to freeze them on a baking sheet with a silicone mat beforehand. The silicone mat just makes it a little bit easier to get it off once it's been frozen. My favorite thing to do is use a wire skimmer as I lift these out because I don't actually want all of that juice that's at the bottom from me dicing it. I want it to be somewhat dry, otherwise that juice will stick to itself and it makes it a lot harder to get it separated once it's been froze. Then I use my wire skimmer and I load up a thin layer of the tomatillos onto my baking sheet. You can freeze the tomatillos in slices or halved or even whole, but I found that this makes it the easiest to add to the dishes that I want to, because then I don't have to do any more prep. And if I do decide to make a salsa verde, it's just as easy to take this and blend it up as it would a whole one. Now I'll load up the rest of my trays and I'll place these in the freezer for 4 hours so that they get frozen all the way through. Before I pull my tomatillos out of the freezer, I'll label and date my bags. And for these, I'll use just the Ziploc bags because I want to be able to get in them, get some of it out. But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and use a vacuum sealer, and that'll keep it from getting freezer burned very well. But it does make it a little bit harder to say reseal later. Then I open up my bags and I'll turn over the top edge, making it go, partway inside out. And what that does is that makes it so that no food will get on the outside edge, and it kind of holds it open for me so that it's a little bit easier to put the food inside of it. So it's a little hard to get it started when you first bring out your frozen tray. And I found something that helps a lot is a flat blade. I just slide the blade right along the side and it makes it so that I can lift up the silicone tray. And then at that point, I'm able to break this up into little pieces. Because of the fact that I don't want to have to use huge amounts at a time, this is kind of important. But I also need to go quickly because if it starts to thaw and then reforms while it's in the bag, then it'll just be one big chunk, and then why did I even put it on the little trays in the first place? And then I'll turn my bags right side out. I'll try to push as much of the air out of them as possible, and then I'll seal them up. Then I press my bag flat so that it lays nicely in the freezer, and I'll place these in my freezer and they should be good for anywhere from 6 to 12 months.